Well, hello, beautiful people. It is taking me 15 minutes to get on this bitch. Hello, beautiful people. It is your girl, makeup artist Deshawn Hatcher, all the way from upstate New York, where it has been raining and flooding, and I forgot what they called it. There's many things that were happening up here, so forgive me for not being here in the last week, but it's been very hectic. When you guys tune in, do me a favor and tell me if I am slowing down or my trying to say, or is my reception a little off in terms of yeah, am I slowing down? Let me know. I mean, it's nothing I can do about it, but we can try to do something. Maybe I don't know. But besides that, listen, people, it has been so right before I was coming on, my tripod broke. And I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix this thing. So I was trying to get this thing to work. If anybody knows how to make a C-clamp close back down, can you let me know? Because I can't seem to get this thing to close. And it's just a sign that I should have left it the F alone. But of course I didn't. So listen, we have two great questions tonight from, listen, people, the one, the only, Miss Monique is in the house. So I want to get to Monique's question. And of course, as usual, when one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong. So I'm trying to pull up her questions now so I can answer. She asked me a question last week, and she asked me a question, I think just the other day. And of course, I will answer Miss Monique because she has the greatest questions. So let me see. I know one of her questions last week was a really a kind of easy one to answer. And it is really something that I learned. Here's a long one. Okay, so this is not the one she asked me for, but I don't have the one, the actual question, but I do have the answer. So, Miss Monique, the answer to your question, I don't even have it. Like everything fell apart in here, everything. So I don't really have a demo. Well, I guess I can do it this way. So basically, she was asking about, I believe, people's funk, not her funk, because I believe that Monique is pretty flawless. So not her funk, but the funk of others. So you're sitting in the chair, or your client is sitting in the chair, and you've done all the tricks you can, all the tricks in terms of, hey, would you like a mint? Hey, here's some gum. Hey, would you like some water? Anything, you know, and it's a little funky, and it happens. And listen, life goes on for all of us. You know what I mean? So she was asking, what do you do in that circumstance? And I had learned, wow, I had learned this my very first year of working. I learned this trick. I was doing a student film. I just spoke to her too. I'm having flashbacks, but I was doing a student film, and the actress came over to me and she said to me, do you have any perfume? And I said, at the time, I was like, oh, I always carried this little vial of baby. It was like an oil, and it smelled like baby powder or something like that. And I used to always carry it around with me, and I used to use it. It's oil. And I said, oh yeah, I do. I have something for you. So I didn't know what she wanted it for. So she went and took it's a rub-on vial. So she took the rub-on vial, and she had the oil on her nose, and she put it right here, right there, right? And then I said, what'd you do that for? And she goes, he smells so bad. She said he smelled so bad. The other actor that she was acting against, I guess he just had some really bad, what is it, halitosis. And she was like, I need something to mask the smell. And so basically, she taught me in my very first year of being a makeup artist that you take the perfume, any perfume, and you take it and you just put it right here. And what happens is all you smell is this. You smell nothing else. So a person can have the worst body odor, the worst breath. and it will go, you can't smell it. So it's so, I was talking to the boyfriend about this. I said, if you remember back in, like, I want to say like 1600s French court people with the handkerchief. You remember how they used to have the handkerchief and they used to snort and all this stuff? Well, the handkerchief is full of perfume back in the day. So we're talking about the guys with the big wigs, the white wigs and all that. So it's full of perfume. So that's why you always see them go, oh, so lovely to see you, because they are sniffing a scent that is on that handkerchief. And that is to help disguise the funk that is around them, you see. And so I think that's just the same premise of what she was doing. She was taking that perfume and she literally put it in her nose, though, not just here. It was up in her nose. And honey, I have done that many times over the years, where I have did exactly what she did, stuck that joint right up my nose. Because there's nothing else that we can do. I mean, as a makeup artist, we can be this close to how close is that? We can physically be this close to somebody. We're talking like a cell phone distance away from somebody. That joint is close, okay? And so I have been doing that little trick for 21 years now, and it has worked like a charm. And so that was a question Monique had asked me about the funk, what to do with the funk of your client, and that's what you do. You either offer them the mints, you offer them some water, you offer them something. If they say, oh no, I'm okay, you're like, damn it, man, you stink. Then you just move on and you just shove the perfume up. I normally don't leave home without a perfume. I normally have a perfume in my bag. I think the only thing that you can do if you don't have a perfume in your bag, you might be able to get away with spraying a little hairspray on your hands and going like that too. Hairspray is a little stronger, a little bit more alcohol in it, so you got to be careful there. But to help you for a day, it's not something I'm suggesting that you do all the time. It's not something I have to do all the time. I don't. I have to do it very rarely. But when you do need it, you need it, and so that's the trick of the perfume thing. It's so funny because I had just not ran into her, but she's on LinkedIn, and I was on LinkedIn, and she popped up. This actress had popped up out of nowhere. And I was like, oh my God. And I wrote her, and I was like, I remember you. I was working on a student film, and you told me this trick about the da-da-da. And she goes, I remember you. But I was, I always say to her, wow, yeah, it was because of you I could continue on with my life. And being so close to people. So that's the deal. Maria Jones, can you see? Can you hear me? Now I'm looking at myself and I'm seeing that I'm stopping and starting. Now I don't know what that is. So Maria Jones, can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I jerky? I see on the camera I'm jerky. So I just want to see through you guys if I am a herky and a jerky. Because also sometimes that means I need to sit still. So I need to sit still. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So yes, ma'am, I'm herky and jerky, or am I okay? Or am I like, that's what I need to know. I think if I stay still, now I'm going to stay still like this. If I stay still, I think I might be able to not jerk around so much, but I do move. You guys know I'm animated, so I do move a lot, but okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Let me see. So Monique always comes with the questions. Look, come on, see that? But I did have a question for Monique, but the girl ain't here. So here's the question I have. Okay, now Maria, you're here. You better come with a question, okay? Because you're on the spot, girl. You're on the spot. Okay, so this is a lovely question. I kind of like this. It's all encompassing as usual. This is Miss Monique's question. She goes, hey, Deshawn, I hope everything's good. I have a story that I wanted to share that happened to me. So she's giving me, at my job, we have some new artists that I will be working with. So one day during our 4-day meeting, the new artist had to do makeup on each other and then on me. And my manager wanted me to critique them. So I told each one what they needed to work on and show them what their work looks like with photography. Perfect. So when it was time for them to do my makeup, I asked them, have they worked on women of color? And they all said no. Then I asked them if this was their first makeup job, and they said yes. The more I asked questions, the more I realized they only did makeup at school and on themselves. So I let them do my makeup, and before they started, I noticed they all had my shade wrong. By the time they were done, I was 3 shades too dark, and it looked like I had dirt on my face. I told them my foundation was too dark. When the manager came in to check how it was going, he looked at my face. His critiques were brutal. But I understood why, because if they don't do well, they might end up getting fired. So in my mind, I was wondering, what did they put on their resume? Because they really need a lot of practice. So at the end, I encouraged them to practice and told them if they need any help while I'm around, I am willing to help. Okay, so basically what she's saying is she has people who she works with who suck. She's much nicer at it than I am. Yeah. Yeah, I do wonder. Honestly, I do wonder what people who aren't as trained, um, what you put on your resume, what you do to get these positions. Because if you can't do a simple woman of color makeup, I don't even think it was anything worth, anything crazy. If you can't do a woman of color makeup, then why are you here? Especially from what I understand with Monique's job, I believe it's to deal with the public. And so if you can't work on people of color, I don't understand. But this is this is an ongoing conversation that we all seem to have when it comes to being a makeup artist, which is, or actually, it's not even just makeup. It is hair and it is makeup. Because when you talk to hair people, they have the same issue. I don't know if these people were white. That was the other question I wanted to know, if they were white, if they were black, or what were they? Because, there's a lot of discussion with the diversity and the beauty industry, and blah, 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 blah. So I needed to know what we were dealing with. I'm not sure. But let me tell you, this is like what I say to everybody else. Now, back in the diggy day, I would say, yo, you gotta be careful of the white girls. They might mess you up. But nowadays, the white girls got it going on with the makeup and the hair as well. So I can't just discriminate because a person's white, da 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 da. So I'm not that one. I'm not going to play that game, because I seen it. Black folks mess up black people. I see it every day on Instagram. So I can't turn around and look at a white girl and go, just look at her and say she sucks at makeup. I will not do that, because black people be messing up black people. Okay. So that's number one. So I don't know what this was, but all I can tell you is that if you want to be a makeup artist and you want to work with the public, right, which is, I believe this is what this job is about, you have to know how to work on women of color. Now, again, I guess maybe my only thought process in terms of how do, what am I trying to say? How do non-qualifying people get these types of jobs? And it could be based off of an assumption of the employer that, well, she just came from school, so she must know. You see what I'm saying? So she must know how to do X. You see what I mean? So probably that's what it was. That's probably what happens to most of us who hire unqualified people. We are under the impression, we are assuming that the person knows what they're doing. Either they showed you, listen, I think I have a story about an unqualified assistant of mine. She fooled me. She straight up fooled me. I think I have it on, I don't even remember. I think it's called Fake It Till You Make It, that video, where I tell a series of stories. I tell a lot of stories of that one. And hey, Teague, hi, Teague. I can't move that much, Teague, because something's funky with the screen. So hi, Teague. So I had an assistant who was supposed to be, she really was an assistant, but she technically was a second, because I was hired to work at the Apollo, and it was like a big celebrity event. So I was hired to work on the celebrities, and then there were some sub people down below. Are there hearts? How do you do that? I just she gets distracted. Squirrel. She gets distracted. Anyway, so I was hired to work on everybody, and I knew that I couldn't work on everybody, so I needed a second person to come help me. By the way, this person was getting paid the whole 9 yards. And in the job description, I said, must know how to work with people of color. Must. There's just no ifs, ands, buts. So this young lady had showed me her portfolio. And she had a diversity. She had Asians, she had Black, she had white, she had a beautiful portfolio. I was so like, wow, how impressive are you? So I was like, you are hired, honey. Well, honey, when we got to the Apollo Theater, okay, I had to go upstairs because the celebrities were upstairs. And we had a beautiful choir downstairs that needed like a little powder, a little extra makeup, little kind of thing like that. And I went upstairs. I went upstairs and came down. I can't show you, but she was sitting. Let me see if I can show you. Let me hold it. So remember, I left her. I said, okay, go ahead, open up your kit, do your thing. I'll come down and then I'll help you. I don't know if you guys can see. So I left her downstairs. So I must have been upstairs for maybe a half an hour, going from room to room. It's just like for me what I was doing. If the celebrities needed any kind of full face, I was there to do full face, but I was really there to do touch-ups and all that stuff before they go on camera. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay. So remember, this is a young lady who presented her book to me. Remember that. She said, oh, because I said, wow, you're very diverse. She was like, yes, I can work on all these people. I was like, yes. Okay. I come downstairs. See, I really am afraid to move. So do you see this? Look. Look, she was sitting like this at the table. Like this. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, she was almost like this. It was like her kit was here and she was on the table and her kit wasn't open and she just was like this. And I said, I thought something happened to her. I thought somebody may have like accosted her. I mean, the way she looked, she was pale. She was very pale in the face. So I come running over to her and I go, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And then she's like this. She's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I was like, huh? And she was like, I can't do this, Deshawn. I can't do this. And I was like, you can't do what? I can't work on Black people. I can't work on Black people. I was like, you can't work on Black people? Oh, mother effer. You can't work on Black people. Wait, my screen is going. Wait. God damn it. The cord came out. Why is my life like this today? Everything is breaking on me. Okay, hold up. Please don't cut me off. I'm going to be pissed the F off. Okay, please. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Okay, so she sat there petrified. She told me she couldn't work on Black people. She couldn't work on Hispanics. She couldn't work on no minority. She flipped out. And I was just like, I don't have time for this, because it was a star-studded event. I'm supposed to be running around rooms, but now I got to be downstairs to babysit her because she's having a meltdown. Okay. And basically what had happened was she lied. She told me she could do it. She showed me a book full of bullshit. That was all photoshopped by her boyfriend at the time, who was a photographer. And she was passing this beautiful work off as if she could do all of it, and she couldn't do any of it. So when you ask the question, how does this happen? Well, it happens because people lie. It happens because people lie. It can happen because people assume that you can do it because you're lying. You see, if you apply for a gig, and it might be like small little details of working, like, I don't know, how fast can you type? And then, you might type 35 words a minute, but the job says 40. You might say, I can do 40, even though you can only do 35. Like, that's okay. but not when you have to, not when you're supposed to work on black, white, all different kinds of colors, and then you show up and then you can't do much of anything. And so that young lady couldn't do much of anything. And so she just, yeah, she was big ass out, big time, big time, big time. And that was not a good night for your girl. I was pissed. If I really think about it, I get really angry. But it's been 18, 19 years or so. Now it's just funny. A little. Teague, I can't do everything with black hair, but the things I can do, I do very well. Teague, I can't do everything with white people hair, but whatever I do very well too, girl. It is what it is. Listen, anybody said we all had to be, what's that beautiful British man, Brian McKnight, who, is it Brian? Sam McKnight, who is the, the guru of hair and all that stuff. Ain't nobody asking, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't ever saying I could do that, but I am handy with all kinds of hair. But I tell you, white people hair was very hard for me for a while because it's so slippery. I'm black. I'm used to this. So our hair tends to stay put. So if you do something, you come back to it, normally kind of sits still. The white people hair was just kind of like all over the place. I was like, Lord Jesus, why won't this hair stay still? And it took me a while to understand. Oh, you got to put a little product in it. Da, 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 da. And I was like, okay. But I don't run around saying I'm a hairstylist and I'm so fabulous with this and with that. I am very honest and upfront about my abilities to work on people, just like T just said. I'm decent. I'm good. I would never sit up around here and say I'm the best editorial hair person you've ever seen. Now, what I do say is that I am the queen of big hair. You're a white girl. You got some big hair. You want big hair? I grew up in the 80s. You want big hair? I got you. Honey, I get that hair so big. They are amazed. They are like, wow, that's your girl specialty. You want big hair? I'm bringing the 80s. I'm bringing the 80s to you. So that's what I say. That's exactly what I say. Celeste Moore. Hello, Celeste Moore. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, beautiful. Hello, Celeste Moore. Let's see. Am I jumping? Because on my screen, I'm going like this. Just let me know if something funky happens, okay, people? So Maria Jones says, hey, Deshawn, I was watching YouTube short, and the subject is about the disposal of sponges after using on a client. The artist tossed the sponge into the trash. Some commenters did not agree. Well, what was she supposed to do with it? Like, back in the day, before COVID, to be honest, you could technically, you can't what am I trying to say? You can't disinfect the sponge per se. Is that right? You can like clean it with antibacterial soap, okay? Because that's what I was told when I was coming up. And that's actually what I was told in school, that you can use you could take a used sponge and then go take it and wash it, but wash it in antibacterial soap. And then you could take that sponge and reuse it. That's what I was taught in school. Now, that was 22 years ago, or is it 21? I can't remember. It was 20 some odd years ago, okay? Before COVID. So would I do that today? No, I would not do that today. I would not feel comfortable doing that ever. So for me, I would throw the sponge out. That's what I would do. Yeah, because it's not like you could stick it in Cinema Secrets. You know what I mean? And disinfect it in that manner. I mean, it's just like a kitchen sponge. You can't really, I do put my kitchen sponges in the dishwasher, and I do put my kitchen sponges in the microwave because I don't like funk. So I do that, but I don't know. I just think there's something about it. Like when I'm working on clients now, it would freak me out, I think, to take a used sponge, even though I have washed it with antibacterial soap, and I just would not feel comfortable doing that anymore. So I would throw it in the garbage myself. It's one of the reasons why I'm not really into I've never really been into the beauty blender too much, even though I love the finish of a beauty blender. One, they're $20 a pop, so that ain't gonna happen. And yeah, I just felt like, well, I can't really clean this. So what am I doing? I don't understand what I'm doing with it. And I'm not going to give $20 away to a client. I'm too cheap for that. So then what do you do with it? So yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Listen, listen, Maria, everybody got a comment. Okay. It's called the internet. Everybody got opinions. Everybody wants to say, to put their 15 cents into it. I personally just wouldn't reuse a sponge. After C19 and sanitation standards, some artists are still sacrificing their businesses over a sponge. Yeah, Maria, I'm not that girl. And and back in the day, again, we're talking about 20 years ago. For me as an artist starting out, it was economical. When my teacher told me all you have to do is go take some antibacterial soap and you can clean your sponges, I was like, really? So it saved me a lot of money when I had first started. Because at first I was using the drugstore sponges and they suck. And then I moved on to Alcone. I have never stopped using Alcone sponges, but they are kind of, compared to drugstore, they are kind of expensive, especially when you first start out. You're buying everything, and just buying my foundations back in the day ran me. Oh my God. Oh God. I can't remember how. I used to carry around 18 to 24 shades or something like that. And buying them cost me, each time I had to refill my kit, I think like $350. And we're talking a long time ago. And that's just foundation shades. You see what I'm saying? So it was really expensive. So when my teacher had explained that, oh no, you just wash it and da 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 da, I was like, oh cool. So you saved me some money. But nowadays, oh, and also the other trick was you can take the sponge, because Alcone sponges, they blow up. You can take them and cut them, and then you can make your own shapes. And so that's what I was doing. I was just taking used sponges and then cutting them up and creating, you know how Beauty Blender has those little sponges, those cute little round. Well, I used to cut my own and I made my own back in the day. And so that is what I use that's what I did with my used sponges. Okay. But now I would not do that. No, just reusing a sponge, reusing a powder puff. Powder puffs as well, you were supposed to be able to wash your powder puffs. And right before COVID, I swear to God, I remember talking to, I'm not going to out her, but I was talking to a very high end makeup artist. She does film. And she had told me that she had just finished washing her puffs. And I said, oh, I never did that. I never washed my puffs. And I was like, oh, I guess you can wash your puffs. Why not? So I started saving my puffs, so I could make one big, washing thing. And then COVID hit, and then I wound up throwing them all out because I was like, I can't. And like my brain, I just could not wrap my brain around even washing something and patting and putting on somebody's. I just couldn't do it. So yeah, people will sacrifice a lot over a sponge. Pay the $20 and get the bag of sponges from Alcone. And that's another reason why I switched to brushes, because I feel like at least I can dip my brushes in Cinema Secrets. I can dip my brushes in alcohol. I could do all these things, even though I don't really do alcohol, but Cinema Secrets Cinema Secrets and Graph told me the same, they're somewhat the same thing. I think the difference between the two is the dye and the smell components. But they both do if you read the packages side by side, they do the same damn thing. So I believe in those two products to disinfect, you know what I mean? And hand washing them. So, but I feel you, honey. People will do much over a sponge. And you're talking to a girl who is cheap. She's cheap. But even I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not, it just grosses me out now. I just can't even think about doing something like that. So that's the move. Do you ever airbrush? And what settings or segments of the industry would appreciate airbrush makeup? I do not airbrush, but I haven't done it in a while, to be honest. Normally every year I took airbrushing classes. I told you, I'm cheap. I was just too cheap. I did not want to buy the machine. I didn't want to buy the machine because I was like, I'm not really into it. It wasn't my thing. But I always felt like, God forbid, if I got stuck on a job and then something happened, they say, oh, you have to use this airbrush, that I would know how to use it. So I know how to use an airbrush machine. I do not possess one because I never felt it was necessary for my business. You can airbrushing machines come in handy in artwork. Airbrushing machine comes in handy when you're doing special effects makeup, when you have to do all these little intricate marks on the face. And some people, I'm a brush person. That's my thing now. So you can do it with brushes, but airbrushing allows what should I say, different effects and different effects and stuff on the face. So especially when you look at people who do special effects, you will see that they whip out that airbrush machine like crazy. Bridal uses it. Fashion, there's some people, I would say some people back in the day back in the day that I knew that whipped out that machine and used it. I don't know if there's I'm trying to think. Like, would you use it in? I haven't seen it used in like TV. What I'm trying to say, like news and stuff. I worked in a couple of newsrooms so far, and I've never seen anybody whip out a machine. Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, people do use it. I just don't. I am trained in it. If somebody gave me a machine and said here, then I said, okay, I got it. Psst, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't possess one because she's too cheap. Do I use Celeste Moore asked me, do I use a UV sterilizer? No, I do not. I have cleaned everything by hand. I clean all of my, I mean, I've always been really kind of oddly weird with my kit. I'm thinking about what I do. Like my kit is like it's immaculately clean. Do you know what I mean? Like you can eat off it kind of kit. So I've always been a little nutty cuckoo about how clean my kit is. So I never felt the need to UV myself. Do you know what I mean? Sanitize it, sure. Alcohol it down. I always, ever since I discovered Cinema Secrets, I always have cleaned my kit, including a bag that I had anything with Cinema Secrets and disinfectant and all that stuff. And I also used to have a hospital grade, not Lysol, it was a hospital grade disinfectant eye spray. Oh, I was nuts. I was nuts with it. So, yeah. So, no, to answer your question, no, I do not have a UV machine. I thought about it. I have ideas about it before we went on the COVID break. I had epiphanies. I had stuff I was going to do. And I was going to show y'all because I looked it all up and I looked it all up the UV and I did all this research on it and I called companies about UV. I went cuckoo crazy over it. And I had ideas and then it just COVID hit and I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. So, but I do understand the UV-ness of it all. I do get it. You know that when you do UV, you have to open up your thing. Do I have anything here? This is like such a hot ass mess. This is mine. That's why it's dirty. But you would have to clean all your stuff. So you know that. You'd have to wear gloves. You should be wearing gloves. And you should be wearing masks when you clean your kit. I'm just saying. So you really should be wearing a mask. Just saying. So you clean it, right? So you have to clean it all. You have to clean it, right? You have to clean the back. So when you put it in the machine, right, you have to zap the front and then you have to flip it over and zap the back. So I hope people understand that. That, you know, there's a lot to it. So even though it's only like, what is it, 5 seconds or something, like 5 seconds, something like that on the product itself. But you remember you have to do back and front. You can't just do the front. You cannot just do the product. You have to do the whole thing because the machine does not go around the product. Even though there are machines that look like a toaster oven that has looks like a toaster oven, so it has a rack. So you put your stuff on the rack. If it does not have, I told you I really researched this like a crazy crackhead. If it does not have reflectiveness underneath, so here's your item, here's your item on the rack, here's the bottom of your thing. If this piece does not have reflection up underneath it, you will have to flip your stuff over. There's a lot. There's a lot. Oh, there's a lot to it. Dawnsville, hi Dawnsville. Mr. Sean, I love the peachy nude slip color you have. It was a mistake. Thank you for loving it though. It's a combination of Makeup Forever's It's actually Makeup Forever sent me a beautiful package of lipsticks. I don't know what it is. When I tell you this place is like a bomb exploded, it's like a mess in here. It actually is a Makeup Forever. See, she keeps saying that. I'm looking on the floor. What did it happen to it? Makeup Forever sent me those lip paints, I guess what you call it, and they're dry and they're matte. And so this was an orange color first. It was like this, like burnt. I'm afraid to touch anything because I'll cut us all off. So it was a burnt orange color, and then I was like, it looked just like this color here. It looks just like this color. Okay. And then I was like, no, I'm not feeling that tonight. And then I took where did it go? Look, she's looking on the floor. I really don't see it. Then I took a pinky, sorry guys, seriously, this room is jacked up. I took a peachy color and put it on top and mixed it together real quick before I came on here. So that's what that is. Oh, help me. Whoops, I meant you were wearing. That's what I thought you meant, Donsville. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you. It's an orangey kind of color that's a flat matte. Then I was like, no, it matched this color exactly for some reason. And then I was like, and then I just put this old ass Maybelline color I've had. She keeps looking. I swear. Listen, people. My thing broke. Does anybody know how to fix this? So right before I was coming on, I was trying to change the location of the camera, and then this thing broke. And I was like, why? Like the girl in Color Purple, why? That's how I felt. And yeah, so that's what's happening to me. Your girl's falling apart in front of your eyes. So while I'm falling apart in front of your eyes, can you please make sure to give me a thumbs up as I keep searching for stuff? Give me a thumbs up now while I look around, because I'm really disturbed. I can't find this thing. That's so strange. I literally had it. Sorry, I normally would show you, but now I don't know where it is. Seriously, when that thing fell off of my tripod today, I was like, oh. So I'm having a day. It's just a day. It's just a day. Awesome. She says, Dawn, so awesome. I have never thought about toning down my burnt orange lip color, my lip products with peach. Yeah, it's actually a pink. And so because it's orange, the initial color underneath my pink lipstick is orange. It turns it peachy. Color theory 101. It turns it peachy. But I'm afraid to touch anything. Yeah, she don't know what she's doing. Any questions? Any questions? See, she's still looking. Listen, when I tell you people, with the rain and the landslides and listen, upstate is a beautiful place to be. When I tell you, it's a beautiful place to be. I love living up here. But when it rains like that, you feel like your whole life is flashed. You're like, what is happening? It doesn't rain like this in Brooklyn. So you're just like, holy hell, Lord, please don't wash me away, Lord Jesus, please. Yeah, so it was very that. It was very that up here. So, you know, it is what it is. What can we do? Let me see. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So Monique isn't here, but Monique, when you tune in, honey, I did answer your question at the top. You see, I'm still looking. I answered your question at the top of the show. For you people who, no, I should make y'all look at, I'm not going to make you look at the replay. It's like a small amount. Monique had asked a question earlier. Well, I had answered Monique's question earlier about when we have funky people in our chair and we're so close and sometimes it's just bad breath, you know, sorry. The trick that I learned in my not my very first, but my first year, I should say, of working from an actress was she asked me for perfume. And then she took the perfume and she put it here. See that? She put it right here. And what that does is that everything, you can only smell this when you do that. And so when you have people with bad breath or something like that, who cannot seem to understand the hint. Hey, would you like a mint? Hey, when they don't seem to get the hint, that you're in for that breathe in. And then, they love to, they breathe on us. I mean, that's just part of the game. They do breathe on us. So, what do you do when the funk is literally hitting you in the face? You just take the perfume and you stick it right here. And when you breathe in, all you smell is this. It also reminds me when I was a kid and we had that stuff called, I think it was like Vicks, and it was like it was like a menthol stick, and you'd have to stick it up your nose. It's sort of like the same premise of that. It just allows the funk to bypass your nose. All you smell is the perfume of choice. So that helps you. Um, it helps you with your client. It's not something you have to do all the time. Obviously, we don't all have to do that. I do it from time to time. I have allergies, so I have to be real careful. But besides that, it was the greatest. It was the greatest lesson I had ever learned, because people can be funky. And the person she was having a scene with, she said, "Oh, he smells so bad." And that's how I learned that trick. That's exactly how I learned that trick from her. So there you go. So you guys have any questions? We could be on. Oh, some more. I didn't see you. Hey, some more. Hi, some more. Y'all got any questions? I am like really pissed. You still wear a face mask. You know what, Leighton? At first I was like so happy to take it off, and but sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes it depends. Like, I feel like if I'm in a cold place or something like that, I probably will put it on because it keeps you warmer. Do you know what I mean? But it also oddly protects us in so many other ways, like the funk of a person. It protects us from the funk of a person. It I don't like it, but I liked it at the same time. So yeah, I kind of like that. Donso says, I have noticed that more people keep saying that all colors look flattering on everyone. And it has me wondering, are some people unable to decipher when colors look off non-white people? Hell yeah. So she's giving an example. For example, my skin is a few shades darker than Deshawn, and no matter how much I like dark purples, I look like a ghoul in dark purples. They aren't very red plum based. Yeah, because there are experts everywhere. You don't hear me talking about fashion, do you? My expertise is this PI, right? That's what I talk about. You don't see me going off on no tangent. So yeah, this is what I talk about. So I stick to what I know. Many people don't stick to what they know. And that is why you have that. You have bad advice everywhere. That's why the internet is full of bad advice everywhere, because people just need to mind their business. Or people, it's like we were talking about this at Dawn's Phone. We were talking about this at the top when the Monique had another question in terms of people were hired in her job, and her company asked these young ladies to do her makeup, and they did it horribly. And she was so confused as to, well, if you can't work on my skin tone, or whatever skin tone she may have been, how did you get this job? I don't understand. And that's kind of how it happens. It's like some people kind of will ignore the fact that the person might not be that good. Some people might be too lazy to even test people out. Some people might assume that because these young ladies came from a school, they know what to do, all these things. And so that's how we get bad advice all the time. I think that's why I have such I'm trying to find the words. That's why I'm not finding the words. I'll just say it. I have such a negative opinion of counter salespeople at the makeup counter, because when I was a kid or younger, I would come from the makeup counter and I would look effed the F up. They jacked me up like nobody's business. And so I'm always of the opinion that, is this what's left at the counter? Because you should be able to do my face. And I would come up, they would all, girl, Dawn'sville, when I tell you, they would say, "Oh, you black." And I was like, "Uh-huh." They're like, "Oh, you could take color." And I was like, "Oh, I can? Okay." And they would jack me up. Clown. I would walk out there going, clowned me up. Red lipstick, blue, blue blush. When I tell you they jack, so I have I hate to use PTSD because that's not we have to stop saying PTSD because that really should be for military people or victims. I'm not a victim, but you have these moments that you know you just don't forget, you know, walking out of a store looking crazy, you know. And so it could be so many combinations of why we keep getting bad advice. Listen, Instagram is, I watch, first of all, I love Instagram. It tickles me. I love to see people fall. I didn't say I was nice, but I just get a key out of it. So I'm sitting up here, and dogs. Okay. So if you're in here, I'm laughing. He's like, what's happening? She's on that TikTok, that's what he calls it. And if I see one more Black woman, much darker than me, with orange insides, or somebody who is 8 shades darker than me, and then the makeup artist takes my color and puts it on their face to highlight them, I'm gonna scream. So there's a lot of bad makeup out there. There's a lot of bad people who don't know what the F they're talking about. But unfortunately, if you see on Instagram, if you see that kind of makeup, what do? Oh my God, your makeup's so beautiful. Can I hire you? And I'm like, this makeup is effed up. What are you talking about? But everybody's an expert. Honey, you an expert in 10 years from now, you're going to look at them pictures and going to like, what the F did that girl do to me? It's just going to take time for people to realize just how ridiculous they look. No offense. I don't mind a lot of makeup. I don't have an issue with the makeup. I have an issue with the wrong coloring. I'm a colorist. I should call myself a colorist. I am a colorist. I believe, you know, I understand color. And so I didn't take special training in color theory. To be honest, I never really took a color theory class ever. I sat in on a color theory class because I worked, every now and then I would work with the powder group, and then James Vincent would have to do his color theory class, and I'd sit there and watch. But I never had to take a color theory course. I get colors, but I don't know what the hell is happening. Honey, I don't know what's happening. Pure joy, makeup, beauty, and life. Hello, lovely people. I'm late. Oh, recovering from surgery. Oh, I just had to see my Deshawn. Oh, pure joy, makeup, beauty, and life. I'm sorry, honey. I'm glad you're back. I hope you feel good. Are you good? Let me know if you're good, please. You want supposed to guess? This one woman sold me this 2 blue based purple lipstick, and I look a hot ass mess in it. I don't pull off berry colors, and most pink lipsticks are the kiss of death on me. Listen, there are some things that I said I'm very good in color theory, but I will put anything on my face because I'm just curious. Like, I try to make it work, you know. But I really love that color. I just want to try. And it's like, girl, you don't try 15 ways to Sunday to put this shit on your face. It's not going to work. You know better than this, you know. But it happens. Yeah, honey. If you listen, this is the one thing I have to say is like, if you know, you know. If you say, because listen, straight up honest. I've had clients say to me, oh, I look better when you don't do certain structured things to my face. And every now and then I go, yeah, okay. Every now and then I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever she said, I'm gonna do what I want. And then what's that noise? Okay. And then I do what I want. Sorry, here cracking, I don't know why. I do what I want. And then I'll take a picture of her and I go, oh, she was right. I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Because you think you know what you're doing. And even though to my eye, it looked beautiful. But for some reason in picture, it don't come out right. And they were right. And I said, you have to, that's when I learned, you need to listen to your client a little bit more. You may know everything, or you may understand how to do things, but they know their faces. And so you have to, you know, let them do their thing. You know what I mean? So that's That's the funk, honey. Maria Jones. Maria Jones, you and me, honey. She said in 1984, girl, you and I went to the same counter, honey. She said in 1984, a Lancome counter artist had me looking dusty as hell. Yes, I was curious to see if they could work on my dark skin. Child, it was Lancome. Well, you know what? It was the two companies I love the most because I was obsessed with the model Isabella Rossellini. So I was obsessed with the ad campaigns from Lancome. Even when I was in school, we had a Lancome ad in my school, and I'd just be like, "Oh God, one day I just want to do that." I would be like so enamored by her face and the look of her that every season they came out with a new package. I was there. I was there. I was there. But honey, talk about foundation. They would jack my ass up to the point where I just stopped. I actually stopped letting them do my makeup and just buy like the eyeshadow of the moment type thing, that kind of thing. I stopped letting them touch me after a while because I was like, yeah, this is not working. But you're right, around 1984, I think I was a shopper for like 1984 to like 1995, maybe 10 years of going to counters and being jacked up that I gave up all hope. I gave up all hope. I gave up all hope. I mean, you say dusty. Mine was color. For some reason, they just wanted to put so much color in me. Oh, and they used to always say to me, "You're sallow," and I'd be like, "What? You're sallow." And then they would put this beige makeup all over my face, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's not my color though. Like, I don't know what sallow looks like." And then I looked up sallow, and it was like sickly and greenish, and I was like, well, I don't feel like I look sickly. What is that? And then I found out that sallow is olive. I'm just olive. It's just it's a tint of green. It's called olive, you bitch. It's not sallow. Learn how to work with olive skinned people. So it was a lot. It was just listen, I feel your pain, Maria Jones. You and I are counter sisters. I feel your pain. I swear. I swear. Okay, so I'm getting a report. Pure joy, makeup, beauty, and life. Deshawn, I am better, but will feel much better in the weeks ahead. Thank you, my dear. No, thank you for being here when you're not feeling well. I hope I give you a little tee hee hee. I hope it helps you a little bit. So, don't I generally think that so many people feel like they have been shut out of wearing certain colors or clothing for so long that they want to try it all. But like you all are saying, pictures don't lie. No. Like I'm sallow. I'm sallow. So there are certain colors, certain greens. There's certain greens and certain yellows I have to be very careful with. Or what will happen is it will make all the green just come out of my skin. And so I know that now. But I love to wear green. I love it. But it depends on the type of green. But that's, we have to kind of learn how to listen to ourselves too. You know what I mean? As consumers, we really do have to learn how to listen to ourselves. Now, Dawnsville is a stylist, right? She's a fashion stylist. So when you're hiring, let's say, a fashion stylist, and they say, I think you should try this, then I think you should try it because they're looking at our bodies and they understand you might not like it, but you should try it on. Whereas I'm trying to get my neighbor to wear red lipstick. And I'm trying to tell her, there's a red for you. I promise there's a red for you. And she's like, Sean, I can't wear no red. And I'm like, but you can. So, but it's like the dilemma of wearing a red lipstick. Lots of women say, I can't wear red lipstick, Deshawn, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, do you understand the vastness of reds that there are? There are reds that are blue. There's reds that are browns. There are reds that are, blah, 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 pink. There are reds with a lot of whitening. There's, like there's so many reds. You don't have to just look at one color and think that's what we're talking about. The vastness of red. There's a red out there to fit you. And also there's a red out there in the way you apply it. You might not need a strong covering of red, but maybe what about a nice little kiss of red? There's all different ways of wearing red, but many people just think like the big red mouth that I wear, that's what I'm talking about. It's not always that way. But if you kind of trust in us, because we be the experts, if you just kind of trust in us and let us play for a while, then we might come across your red or your pink You know what I mean? Or you're blue. I love me some blue lipstick, honey. So red lip, you know what I mean? But you do have to have a person that knows what they're doing too. Okay. Maria Jones, really irks me. Something really irks me is an artist who do the landing strip nose contour. What the F is going on? What is that? What is that? Urgh. That bugs me. If you watch Project Runway, the All-Star version, that girl, I don't know what her name is. She does lovely work. She's so pretty too. I find her very pretty. But I don't know what's happening. They doing this thing down her, the white girl with the blonde hair. I do not know her name. She's been on there several times now. I really love her work. She just won the last challenge over Curacao. I did like Curaçao's too, but that's another story. But they take this and they go. I had to take a screenshot. I had to take a screenshot on my phone because I was like, "What the F is that?" I was like, maybe I could pull it up. I was like, "What is that?" So so they did this. I mean, it was bad. They did this landing strip down the side of her nose. I was like, "Honey, oh, here it is." I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if y'all can see this. Come on. How close? How far away? Come on. Focus. Let me see if I can highlight it a little bit more. Come on. Shoot. But you can see it. And this is blown out. But her face, this whole nose area is all the way, like, I really wish you could see it. If I pull it back, no. It is a landing strip there. It is a landing strip down her face. I'm like, what is happening? I do wonder if she did that to herself. I do wonder, because that's also what can happen is, I don't know how many of you guys work television, but sometimes when you work television, you know, some of these people will come in camera ready, and then you're supposed to touch them up as the best that you can, and then they go off on their merry way. And so sometimes that could happen. Listen, I'm infamous for I think I signed a DNA. Do not resuscitate. What is it? Is it a DNA? Do not discuss. I forgot. Whatever. DNR. I don't know. You sign this confidentiality agreement. So I signed a confidentiality agreement, but it really doesn't matter because my name is on the credit. So it doesn't really, you could see it's me. So I did a show. We won't name any names, but I did a show where I was doing guest, I was doing the cast. Follow me. I was doing the cast. Follow me. Reunion. Follow me. So I was doing the cast reunion of this particular show. And homeboy walked in. He was bronzed on the face, but he decided not to put anything on his neck. I wanted to put something on his neck. He said he didn't want it. So I was like, yo, do you, boo? But when he got on stage, they stopped production. It was like, makeup, can you put some of the bronze on? I said, yes, I can. So all I can do is like run out and put the bronze. I powdered him with regular powder, and then I put the bronze on his neck because he was like my color. And then white here. And I was like, dude, that's not gonna look right. And he just didn't want me to touch it. So I said, okay, no problem, And so he went out there like that. Well, on camera, it's still not dark enough because the darkest color I had was like my complexion. It was like he was very, very dark. You could see it. So every now and then somebody will say, are you responsible for this? And I'm like, I will take the L, but I did not do that. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens when you work in television. People will come in camera ready and you're supposed to try to fix them. But if they say they don't want to be fixed and they're very adamant about it, it's really nothing you could do. They have to just go out the way they come in. You know what I mean? And so I wonder, because I haven't seen this on anybody else. So I wonder if she did that to herself. That's what I wonder, but I don't know. I don't know. That's why, like, when I watch television, a lot of times I don't blame the makeup artist per se, because I'm wondering, did they come in like that? And were they, honey, when you work, listen, without naming names, but when you work television and you do the guest spots and you do the people who are guests, they come in there, you would be amazed. Help me. I'm not going to name names, but you would be amazed at what walks back there. A hot ass mess. You would be amazed at what comes into a studio and you're like, what? I only have 4 minutes with you, sweetie. I cannot pull a miracle. So it's just very interesting what can happen behind the scenes. So I do wonder if she did that to herself, because like I said, I have no other female on the whole show has that on her face. So that's what I wonder. So Maria Jones, that tirade was for you. The landing strip tirade was for you, my dear. It's all for you, honey. Oh, who is this? Kay Slays. Hi, Kay Slays. Long time. I seen you live. Glad to see you. Glad to be here, guy. Hi, Kay Slays. That's what it feels like. You know, now I think of your name, it feels like, what's that movie with the black guy and he's a vampire and he goes, what's that movie? Help me. Wesley Snipes. Come on, y'all. You gotta help a black woman. He's a vampire. What's the name of that movie? Oh, well, that's what your name sounds like to me. Like, oh, is it Slade? Is it Blade? Blade. That's what it was. Like, you come in and say you get K Slade. That's what it sounds like to me. But you know I'm silly. So there you go. You know I am so silly. Blade. Thank y'all. Yes, that's what it reminds me of, K Slade. I'm K Slade. You whip and you whip out like a brush. Here, I have a TV commercial for you, K Slade. So you go, you're in pitch black. You go, I'm Kay Slays, makeup artist to the stars. And then you take some woman with no makeup and you go, and then boom, this is what happens when I see your guys' names. Like all of these names, I'm always like, this Dawn'sville looks like a little deer to me, you know? She's silly. What can I say? She's silly. I swear to God, what can I say? Let me see. I could have sworn I saw Monique on here. Is Monique in the house? I said Monique in the house. Monique, if you're here, honey, I answered your question at the very, 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 very top. I read the whole thing. I answered you at the top, girl. That's why I don't have my baby face anymore. Honey, neither do I. Okay. But I don't know. Like I don't get a chance to meet you guys, or sometimes I do. Then I know what you look like, Leighton. So I know what you look like. But some people I don't get a chance to meet. And I'm like in my head, I conjure all this stuff up in my head, like just I get a personality feeling off of what you guys type, how you make me laugh, or just sometimes the names. Pure Joy Makeup and Beauty and Life. It's just like they all kind of go in my head. I would catch the playback. I was late. You are never late, Monique. You are never late, honey. Never, ever are you late. So yes, honey. I used to call myself Awake, Pray, and Slay. You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I see your TV commercial right now. I see it all in black. You come on, face all beat. You're like, I do, and then that's what I see. I see it, K Slays. I see it. But my real name is Kendra, and I'm a self-taught makeup artist, and I slay faces. K Slays. I love it. Love it. Hey, Kendra. Welcome, my darling. Evie. Hi, Evie. Hey, naturally beautiful Deshawn. Your skin is gorgeous. Thank you, Evie. I am wearing tonight, because her thing broke and I didn't have a chance to really put makeup on. I am wearing tonight. Not even this is foundation, but this is Graftobian powder foundation. Bling. This is mine. That's why it's all jacked up. So I'm wearing, this is all I have on my face, Graftobian powder foundation. Because things are breaking. Things are breaking. I can't. Today was one of those days. Oh, I love a good powder foundation. I really do. I know y'all are like, listen, biatch, we know that you have the palette with Graftobian. Stop pushing Graftobian. I push what I love. And Graftobian, I don't know, it's hard, it might be hard for you to pick up on the screen. But Graftobian's powder foundations are very saturated. I hope you can. These are my natural colors. So I'm gonna see if I can pick up this color, show y'all. They just are heavily saturated. Here we go. And that's just like a little sin, but they are heavily saturated. So a little bit goes a long way. They work really, really well. Like when I'm working like in corporate videos and things like that, they work really well in that they're so quick to put on, so quick to hit a cheekbone or whatever you need to do. And it's beautiful. It's when I was working for a network and I used that, but I could tell that in studio the lights were super bright, like super bright. That wasn't cutting it. And the only thing that worked was what they had given me, which was Mac Studio Fix. And that stuff is so thick. That's a little too thick for me. But if you do have somebody who needs extreme coverage, it's Mac Studio Fix. If you have somebody who's like me, who just like, see, I'm hot and shiny, whatever. But if you have somebody like me who just doesn't need that much attention, then this stuff is really, really good for that. And I just, listen, when I tell you I dropped everything on the floor, I dropped everything on the floor. I don't even think I have my, yeah. So this is really, really good. And I can't remember how many colors they have. They might have like, I don't know how many colors they have. I should know I'm sweating. It's hot in here. I have to come in here with the door closed. When I talk to you, there we go. So I have to come in here with the door closed. And it gets hot in this room. See that? Boom, 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 boom. Bang. So let me see. I love watching your videos. I might miss your lives at times, but I replay and soak up knowledge. Aw, thank you, Kate Slays. Thank you. She says, MAC foundation and concealers make you look plastic, real fake, but other products are good. Yeah, MAC, I mean, to be honest, I would never use like Studio Fix outside of a studio, like outside of a TV studio, because it's super heavy. But like if you were, again, I wouldn't use it in fashion. I would not use that in fashion. I'm not a beat tour. I'm more of a, I want to see your skin. I want it to look like there's like some life in there. But for people who like a beat, that stuff is perfect. It's just not my aesthetic, so I don't like rave about it. But for people who love like a super matte, super strong beat, that kind of thing, it's perfect. Well, for me, the way I do makeup is just not perfect for me. I like some more people to look like themselves, you know, especially because I do a lot of corporate now, lots of corporate work and catalogs and stuff like that, and sometimes TV and sometimes more celebrities, that kind of thing. But it's not always, it's not always. I go to where the money is. She wants to get paid. Okay. She wants to get paid. So I've been doing a lot more corporate stuff, a lot less fashion, way more corporate stuff. Yeah. Because you guys understand, listen, the reason why people do fashion is one, because you get sucked into life and life is kind of cool and, you know, you go on about it. But that's where you get your exposure. Okay. That's where you don't get your exposure really on Instagram. You still get your exposure more on when you're still working fashion. And then you get exposed to stylist in that world, and you get to work around that world. And then on top of it, you still have magazines. And the thing that I love is that you get the credit. And the credit is written down there for the rest of the editorial's days. So my name is always out there. So that's where I built my career, off of fashion. So I had done, I lost track. I don't know, 100 some odd more magazines and stuff. So, but to be straight, it just doesn't pay very well. What you do, it's very much sort of like, you know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like. It's like going viral on YouTube or going viral on Instagram. So you're putting stuff out, you're getting a little feel, and then you might do something and it goes, and then everybody knows your name, right? Then that helps to like push you. You see what I'm saying? Like a really massive editorial could push you to the front, and people start to, because people within the industry read the credits. And so they say, oh, who did the makeup on this? Oh, who's that Deshawn Hatch? I never heard of her. And then they'll look you up and then do all the stuff, and that's how you get work. But then you can get work with commercial gigs, and you get work with advertising. So you break out. So you do fashion, but then you start to break out and you start to do the advertising gigs. And then from advertising, then you rub snubs with corporate people. And the corporate people, like, you know, say, come, hey, we got a TV commercial. Want to do it? Hell yeah, I want to do it. And then, then you go on that side. And then, so you start branching out. But fashion is where you really do get the exposure that you're supposed to get, not Instagram, not this, not that. So, you know, if you're really into it, remember, take that fashion career and parlay it into so many other avenues. That's how I got the 24-hour show. I had done fashion for years. Then somebody referred me over to this corporate production company. And then from the corporate production company, I was working on all their CEOs and all of the poo-poo people. She's so technical, right? Those people. And then from there, they said, hey, we have this gig. We don't know how to make it work. Do you think you could do it? And I said, in my head, I'm like, what the F? 24 hours? What? And then, of course, in my head, I said, what? And then in my mouth said, yeah. And that's how it began. But that's what I'm saying. The stepping stones off of fashion and editorial are very big. They go beyond fashion, is what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's not just one little thing. Let me see. Oh, Schmoopy, what is that? I don't want to get sad, but my friend Bill and I don't know how many years we were friends, but we were Seinfeld people. It was me, I was Elaine, and he was Jerry, and then our other friend Eric is George. And we used to call each other Schmoopy. And he passed away this year. And so before he died, he sent me the Schmoopy t-shirt. So every now and then I wear my Schmoopy t-shirt as an ode to my beautiful friend, Bill. But yes, because I used to say to the boys, get out. And they would say, you're so Elaine, you're so Elaine. And then I was like, you're so George, and you're so Jerry. So we were big Seinfeld people before we found out that Kramer was a big racist. But that's why I have the t-shirt on. He sent me this before he passed away. So I wear it with honor. Yeah. It's just something that we called each other, just stuck. And it stuck forever. So we've been calling each other Schmoopy for I don't know, child, 25 years. I don't know. Schmoopy, you're my Schmoopy. So yeah. So let's see. K Slays. K Slays. MAC foundation and concealers make. Oh, you told me that make you look plastic, real fake, other parts are good. Inside out, hi inside out. Hi Rebecca. Evie, I love skin too, not the mannequin full coverage. Yeah, it's just not my aesthetic. But then I see other people do it, and I'm like, oh, that's gorgeous. So it's just, hey, it is what it is, people's, and my only pet peeve with a beat ting is when it's like a floating head as opposed to a full, it's not coordinating. It needs to coordinate. So when it doesn't coordinate, that's when I go, what the F? What the F? Why is she orange? Why is she orange? Or why is she so light up here and so dark here? Or, it's like things like that. Like if you're going to be Sam Fine and beat it correctly. Be Rennie, beat it correctly. There's several people who do a beating like nobody's business, and it's beautiful. But there's some people I'm like, what the F? Yeah. No. No, 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 no. I can't say the aw. Thank you for the aw, honey. Hugs to you. A friend used to call me Schmoopy too. See? That's from Seinfeld. It's from Seinfeld. So yes, 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 yes. So don't forget, give a sister a thumbs up. I don't know what time. I can't even see the clock. The light is in my eyes. I don't know what my phone is. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:30. Okay. So, beautiful people, I will be back next Monday. For sure. Monday. Today is Tuesday. I could not do it yesterday because we still had somewhat of a storm out here. And it was kind of and then we had like a quickie we had a quickie throughout the night. Not tonight, last night. No, not last night. The night before. Yeah, it was Sunday night. We had like a brownout, I guess you want it, whatever you want to call it. And so I was like, if that happens during my talk, I'm gonna be pissed. And then also it's still raining a little bit up here. So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to um, do this live without being interrupted by the weather and all that stuff. So that's why I picked Tuesday, or it would have been a whole nother week. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense to make them wait like another whole damn week for me to come on. I come on Tuesday. So that's why I'm on Tuesday night. But normally during the summer, it's Monday. Monday at 8. Monday at 8. You hear that, K Slaves? Monday at 8. You get what I'm saying? Can you be here Monday at 8? And don't forget, go to the community board. Go to the community board. Post your question there. Post your funk. Deshawn, they did this to me today. I want to curse a biatch out. What do I do? Just post it there, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it live on air, and I will give you some help, a little tidbit. Oh, thank you, Eve. I appreciate you guys too. Yeah, no, but if you I'm not trying to be there. You guys know there's something called a brownout, and then there's something called a blackout. A brownout is like, if you guys don't know what a brownout is, like you don't lose all your power. It kind of like, sometimes it could be like dimming, like, and then sometimes instead of it all going out, brownout is indiscriminate funk, but a blackout is like, so that's the difference. I ain't saying that because I'm black, or brown. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be like slick like that, but it was a brownout. Oh, Cali. I'm going to California. Case, and now she's in Cali. Now I can see, like, I got your, listen, Case Lays, I got your commercial in my head. Got your commercial in my head. Because now you all slick. Now, Californians is so different than New Yorkers. So you're even more slick. So now I see a full body shot of you in the dark. And you're wearing like one of them blade coats. And you say, I slay faces. And then you do the, and then Case slays. That's how I see it. I see it. Quick question. Anyone found any amazing Prime deal days? I personally shop on there all the damn time. So it's so weird. It's like, I feel like I'm pretty shopped the F out. I'm shopped the F out of Amazon. I've shopped at Amazon too much. And you guys know that Amazon has sales no matter what. You do know that, right? I hope you understand that. But you have to, like, I got my TV. It was originally, oh God, how much was my TV? I thought it was $650. And one day I happened to be looking for a TV, right? I get really anal retentive and cuckoo, and I'm just like constantly looking, And then the day I went up there, it was $650. And then today only $350. Sold, bang, got it. And then there was I got a banquette for my dining room. It's a big room, so it's a dining area. And I really want a banquette. When I tell you, if you were to see my wish list, you'd be like, damn, Sean, how many banquets have you looked at? You're looking at everybody's mother effing banquet. But she's cheap. And I don't like spending money. And all the banquets I really like $650, $700. I was like, nope. And then one day I happened to go on Amazon, and I said, I'm going to look at more banquets. And then boom, there it was, $350. And you could pay over time. I said, I never knew you could pay over. This is some black people layaway right here. What? And so I said, I'm going to try it. I'm going to pay over time, see what happens. And sure enough, I have my little thing delivered, paid over time. So they have sales. You just have to pay attention. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know. There's nothing that I really want. I have too much crap. I have too much crap, Evie. I just got to slow the F down. I'm like bursting out of seams in this room. I have rearranged the whole room. I got a closet full of crap now, and the stuff is still on the floor. I can't buy one more thing, Evie. I can't. I want to in a weird way, but I can't. So your sister's she laying it down with Amazon for a minute. It's just like, you know, how many boxes come into this place? I could build a damn tree. Okay, like enough. So, but always check. Like just because you see it on sale on Amazon, you have to do your due diligence and check and check. I'm a shopper. I'm an experienced shopper. I am a shopper, so I will check all locations. I know there's an app now that does that. I don't know the name of it, but there is an app that if you put your thing into it, that didn't sound right. If you put your hoo-ha into it, if you put your product into it, it'll tell you where it's being sold and it gives you the pricing all along the bottom. That's when you choose. Also, and don't forget, please make sure when you do that to check the shipping, because sometimes it looks like it's cheaper in this place, and then all of a sudden you go put your order in, they're like, yeah, and the shipping's like $50. It's like, yo, where's my savings? So listen, we could talk about shopping. I have an issue. We can talk about shopping. Evie, like lightning deals all the time. I have a love-hate relationship with Amazon. Too much crap. You and most of us, I want to come to New York one day. It's on my bucket list. What's taking so long? I've been in LA 5,000 times. Bring your ass here. What's wrong? What's going on? Oh, yeah. I think the app is called Honey. I think you're right. I think it is called Honey. Yeah. So before you guys go buck walk crazy on Amazon, please, I think the app is free. See if it's free, because remember, she's cheap. So see if it's free. And if it's free, do that. And then also Google, if you take a picture of something, so if you take a picture of something that you want, or you pull the picture off the screen, Google has the image search on their thing as well. So if you don't have Honey, go to image search, pull up the picture, and what will happen is it'll ting 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 ting, and it'll show you that as well. It's just probably not as pinpointed as Honey would be. Honey's probably a little bit more organized. But the Google search, I love Google search. I'm queen of Google search. It will help out a great deal. So if you really want something, look at that. Oh, I feel you. I don't know. Kids, life, God says the same. I'll go one day. Okay, honey. When you say kids, I get it. I'm not, child, please. I don't have any kids, but I understand. I truly understand. Oh, she said, ting, 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 ting. Ting, ting, ting. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, yes. Oh my God. So beautiful people, we've been on for 1 hour and 22 minutes. And I thank you for coming on this very funky After the Storm Tuesday. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here as always. And you can always ask me questions, because that's what this is all about. This is about helping you people with your careers. You know what I'm saying? And maybe a little commercial direction. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know when you need a commercial idea. I might have it. I might have it right here. You never know. So any beautiful people, I'm out. I'm going to go watch The Bear with the boyfriend, even though I've already seen it. Go watch The Bear if you haven't. Please go watch it. It's one of the greatest TV shows ever made. And I will see you on Monday next week. Yay! Thank you for being here. Big hugs to all of you guys. I'll see you on Monday next week. Hopefully, I won't break anything on my way out of the room. Have a good night, beautiful people. Bye.